Hi, we are Team Aries. Hi, I'm Austin, and I'm going to be talking to you about ancient Greece geography. Most of ancient Greece is covered with mountains. The Pindus Mountains ran down the middle of the Balkan Peninsula. They were the largest group of mountains. The average elevation was 2,650 miles. Greece is the southern end of the Balkan Peninsula. Greece is on many different peninsulas.
Hi, I'm Jake Falk, and I will be talking about the ancient Greece government. Ancient Greece was divided into many small areas called city-states. Each city-state had their own government. Aristotle labeled Greek government into monarchies, oligarchies, tyrannies, and democracies. After the Dark Age, only a few Greek city-states still had kings. Sparta is the most famous of these city-states and had two kings, usually brothers or cousins.
The ancient Greeks made theaters for shows and plays. They were also used for poetry, music events, and a place for formal gathering. They built stadiums for sporting events. They invented formulas that influenced architecture of the past 2 millennia. We still use the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian ways of architecture today. During the Neolithic period, they started making plain and simple pottery. During the Archaic period, they mimicked the Egyptian style of sculpture. They made the famous discus thrower, discubus, and they were a big influence on the Romans and Western world.
Hi, I'm Teddy, and I will tell you about ancient Greece entertainment. The Greeks held plays at outdoor theaters made of stone. Most of the plays were held for festivals. Everyone except the slaves went to the shows. Actors usually played one or more characters. The men even played women roles because women were not allowed to be in shows.
Plato was born in 429 BCE, and he was born in Athens. He was born to a very wealthy and artistic family. Socrates mentored Plato to be one of the greatest philosophers of all time. Socrates insisted that the sophists were wrong and that well-informed people would never do wrong on purpose. He committed suicide in 399 BCE, and Plato was very upset.
Hi, my name is Nathan, and I'm going to tell you about ancient Greek science. The ancient Greeks were very interested in organizing the world and creating chaos. From about 600 BCE, Greek men became astronomers. Aristotle and other philosophers studied plants and animals in 300 BCE. After Aristotle, doctors used his ideas for medicine. Greeks were predominant of paganism. They believed the gods would offer protection in return for sacrifices. They had 12 main gods. Zeus, Hera, Hermes, Hades, Poseidon, Demeter, and Hestia were the children of the Titans Kronos and Rhea. Artemis, Hephaestus, Athena, Apollo, and Ares were the children of Zeus and Hera.
In ancient Greece, sports were a very good preparation for war. Ancient Greece had 4 national sports festivals. The Olympics, however, were held every 4 years. The first recorded Olympic Games were held in 776 BCE. The Olympics were a religion event in honor of the great god Zeus.
Women's lives were closely tied to domestic work, such as spinning, weaving, and other domestic duties. Children in ancient Greece were usually occupied by playing with toys and games. Slaves were conquered by neighbors. Men were trained to be in wars, and usually the kings were wealthy men.
Ancient Greece was traced back to the Stone Age. We know this because we found ancient Greece stone weapons. In 500 to 336 BCE, ancient Greece was divided into small city-states. Homer was an ancient Greek poet who wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. The Iliad describes when a prince from Troy kidnapped Helen, and that led to war. The Odyssey describes what a hero, Odysseus, went through on his journey home. Homer lived sometime between 800 to 700 BCE.
The ancient Greeks harvested a lot of grapes for their wine. The crops are radishes, celery, beans, olives, and different kinds of fruit. Ancient Greeks used olives as their main source of fat instead of meat from animals because they thought it was an unhealthy way of getting fat. They used honey instead of sugar. Farmers always depended on the food you grew.
The Peloponnesian War was started in 431 BCE. It preceded by a conflict that took place from 460 to 446 BCE. The conflict of the Trojan War was started when Paris stole Helen of Troy. Odysseus was the smartest of the war when he planned the idea of the wooden horse. The name of the Battle of Marathon came from Philippides because he ran the distance of a marathon to Athens. The Battle of Marathon was between the Greeks and the Persians at Marathon.
Thank you.